Hello, everybody, and welcome back once again. Special edition of Inside the Headset 2020 on a Saturday afternoon. And we move over to Memphis, and we're going to talk to the private school sector, and we're going to talk to the head coach of the Christian Brothers Purple Wave, Thomas McDaniel. How you doing tonight, Coach McDaniel?
I'm doing awesome, man. Just got to cut my grass, fixing to get by the pool, cook some chicken wings, and enjoy this weather.
Well, have you had a good summer, Coach?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely been challenging in a lot of aspects as far as professionally with if you didn't know, there's been a pandemic, and but as far as family wise, it's been great. Been able to take some vacation time. It was great to get back in June and just be around the guys, even though it was a lot different than what we were accustomed to and whatnot. But things have kind of continually moving more toward what normal used to look like, and at least that we're able to begin practicing preparation for, games and football and whatnot. So all in all, considering what's going on in the world, we're pretty blessed.
The beard you sported there for a while, how long did you have it? How long?
No, I still got the beard. I just cut it.
You did cut it?
Yeah, I still got a beard, but I had the COVID beard for pretty much all of the spring, and once we went full virtual, I just needed something to keep me occupied. So one of those things was to just kind of go full hillbilly, I guess, and I let it go for probably 2.5, 3 months.
Did you build a swimming pool or paint a swimming pool?
No, I painted a swimming pool.
Okay, I thought that. I knew that got done. Was that it? Was that in March you did that?
That was in March, and that was kind of right as the coronavirus started, and or I guess started shutting down our country. And again, I needed something to occupy my time, and I had been contemplating doing it, and so I knocked that out. And that was probably one of the more difficult tasks that I've ever undertaken. So that was definitely humbling.
Any other projects we got done or anything?
Yeah, man. I mean, I've scraped ceilings, I've painted walls, I've redid flower beds, you name it, I've done it. So.
Are these walls where you didn't do any destruction like you did when you were a kid, did you?
No.
Okay,
no.
Right.
Just painting. So but that's pretty normal for me. When I'm not in football, I have to do something to keep my sanity. So I usually get a nice honey-do list and start knocking out projects.
Mom and Dad okay?
Yeah, they're doing well, and just keep on trucking.
Well, all right. Let's move into Christian Brothers Purple Wave. How many kids we got out, Coach? We got how many?
Oh yeah, we got about 110 varsity, and then another 50 freshmen. So our numbers are pretty high right now, maybe higher than normal.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say you're a popular guy. You got a lot of kids.
Yeah, I mean they're pretty high right now, but it's a good outlet for kids, and I think it speaks to what our program is, and I think kids want to be a part of it, and we work them hard, but we're fair with them, and I think we treat them well. And so anyway, numbers are always a good thing. It's been extra challenging just because of the circumstances that we're facing, but we're handling it as best we can and making the most of the situation.
So, how have you tried to? I mean, you haven't been able to scrimmage anybody, so you've been scrimmaging each other. You just throwing somebody else coaches another team for a little while, or how you doing it?
We have a lot of guys coming back. We returned 3 starting defensive linemen. We returned 3 starting offensive linemen. We returned a fullback, quarterback, tailback. Yeah, we return a lot. We return a lot of people. So
you ran a dual quarterback system last year. So will that mean you?
Yeah. So actually, Trace Heffernan has moved. He played outside safety for the last 4 or 5 games, and he was more of the runner. And he moved to outside safety last year and did a great job when he moved to that position. The second half of the year, he's also going to play receiver, which gets us bigger on the perimeter. And again, yet to be determined, but he's such a threat running the ball that we feel like if we can just get him the ball quickly on the perimeter, that he can do some damage on guys in the secondary trying to tackle him, and then also we just have a bigger, longer body blocking.
Right.
So feel good about that move there. Ashton Strother, our quarterback's doing a nice job for us. We've got some good We got a good mix of receivers that we feel like are all have their own skill sets that's going to help us in some way or another. And but yeah, as far as how we're handling it, I mean, the first couple of weeks it was really kind of just a toss up. You was really day to day. When are you gonna? I'm sure you've gone through the calendar and seen all the stuff from Tom or other people, but I mean,
Right.
We really didn't get greenlit until early August. And honestly, when it happened from the governor, it was kind of a shock. I think the seems like forever ago now, but when the state of emergency was extended through August 29th in early July, I think that was a bit of a shock. And then that put everything on hold. And I thought for sure we would end up going to September 18th.
Yep.
But we didn't. And they opened it back up, and then it was kind of, you better get going right away. So it's just been a lot of day-to-day, a lot of emailing, a lot of secretarial work.
Are you
trying to
still
communicate schedules and making people understand how fluid the situation is. But our families and kids have done great with it, and we've all adapted. And I think, again, with the fact that we were locked up for so long, I think they're just happy to be out there no matter what it looks like. So ours more been about, fine-tuning our installs, making sure that we're doing what fits our skill kids best, and our personnel obviously on the line of scrimmage, and then trying to get the horses to the race, I guess you could say. So, yeah, we're going to, it's going to be sloppy at times. We know that going in. You talk about not having scrimmages. I think what I left it with when I decided that our Greater Atlanta Christian game got canceled and Hillcrest, which is a city school, both those games got canceled. It was either wait till week 3 and play MUS, or just go ahead and find 2 other games in hopes that we can get as many games as possible before everything gets shut down. Now, that's a different conversation, but, do we want to win the first 2 games? Absolutely. But at the same time, we recognize it's going to be sloppy. It's not going to be great football. And, but again, I just felt like it was my responsibility that these 2 first games don't really mean that much in the big picture of the long-term success of our football team. And I wanted to give our kids a chance to play rather than wait till MUS. So we're playing. We'll do the best we can. And, we'll see where that ends up taking us ultimately in the next 2 weeks.
So, are you still like the president of the Coaches Association or whatever?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's what I was getting ready to ask you. So, was there any meetings Zoom meetings or meetings you all had, or big, huge conference calls? And I mean, okay. So, what was kind of?
That'd be a 30-minute conversation in and of itself, Stork. So I don't even know that you want to go there. But
can you give me
the bottom line is
the
they
3 minutes?
Listen to us to an extent. I feel like they probably take our information and want to say that they've, listened to us or, had us involved in the discussion. But ultimately, the bigger conferences, Zoom meetings, where you could actually get some people together and say, hey, what are the options here? What are the possibilities? Me personally, I don't think that that's happened. And,
okay.
I know speaking to Kevin in the summer, I remember speaking to Creasy when I was on vacation. I think it's no different than everything that's going on in the country. I mean, there's no right or wrong answer. You talk to one person and they're going to give you one opinion. Somebody else is going to give you a different, and my opinion has been and will remain that we should have pushed the season back. We didn't have enough time to prepare. We were hamstrung. I say a lot of schools were hamstrung in June. They couldn't do anything. Some schools could do whatever they wanted. Then you get to July and everybody gets pulled back. And we talk about heat acclimatization and player safety and all that. And yet you're gonna make us go out and play in 3 weeks of preparation. And then not to mention that the heat index has changed in Tennessee. So now you're under much greater restriction than even before. So it's harder to get on the practice field after school. So you either got to come in early or stay later. There's just a lot of variables there. And then I think that whether you believe the coronavirus is real or not, obviously the numbers dictate everything, and I think you're going to. My thought with September was you allow everybody a little bit of time to breathe, take a timeout. Let's make sure we're taking all the precautions that we can take to start this thing appropriately, and then let schools open up and see what the numbers do. I mean, but that's not what they chose to do, and that's fine. So we're preparing to play, and honestly, I mean, I haven't looked back ever since they said that. We could sit there and cry over spilt milk, say, well, I wish we'd have done it that way, but that's not what they decided to do. And so every day is an opportunity to go out and practice and be with your buddies and be with coaches and just get back into a little bit of normalcy. And so that's what we've been doing, and we've enjoyed it. So, I mean, all I can do now is just pray that things continue to go well across the state and that we're allowed to keep playing because, as you know, every day it seems to get a little bit more desperate that, college football is not going to take place. Now, obviously, we know most all of college football has been canceled with the exception of a couple major Power 5 conferences. But you're seeing it happening at the high school level now.
Right.
And, again, I have not been really about, hey, how do we start the season? I've really been more about I want the answer of how we finish the season. And, what does that mean? Do you want to have a championship? Yes, absolutely. You want to have a championship. But, hell, if you told me we could only play an 8-game season, but we're going to get 8 games, and I'd take it at this point. Because
yes,
I'm not
sir.
Sure,
yes, sir. Yes, sir. If you told me, yes, sir.
But now you say that, and then, again, if I want to be contradictory to myself, I never thought that Major League Baseball would make it as far as they have. So, I mean, Buster Olney a long time back said baseball's got a 5% chance of starting and a 0% chance of finishing. And maybe they don't finish, but with the way things started early, you definitely wouldn't have thought that they'd be where they are right now.
No.
And I'm not saying that they will finish, but, I mean, them and the NBA have made it work.
Yeah.
Now, again, we don't have the resources they do, but, I just know the first couple of weeks we've been back in practice. And from what I talked to other people, I think it's impacting everybody. I think everybody's had to deal with it. But I also think it's something that you can deal with. I don't now, is it going to mean that there's not going to be a couple games canceled here and there? Yes. Does it mean you're going to lose a player every now and again? Yes. But I think we all just are under that umbrella that something bad could happen as far as to your depth chart, and you just better be prepared that you may be playing without some stud horses on Friday night.
Well, and, I mean, let's go back, to when you and I played. Okay, your parents filled out a form, and you knew you were sticking your kid into the fire, and they signed off that I know I'm sticking my kid into the fire, and the kid signed a form. So there was a risk involvement in playing sports back then. There's a risk involvement today, regardless if there is COVID. So this adds.
No, there is. I mean, I think if you look at if you were to play devil's advocate to that comment, I think the argument is that they're going to have the chance. I mean, let's be honest. When you look at the data, kids that are playing high school football, the numbers just don't show that they're being affected like some groups, right?
Yeah.
But the problem is, what about that kid who lives with his grandmother? That's the deal.
Yep.
And
I get it. I'm not.
And I get that part too.
Yep.
So obviously nobody wants a kid to get in harm's way, whether it be from an injury or the virus. But there's a certain amount of risk we take with everything we do.
It's the people we touch. It's the people we're connected to.
Yeah. But it's just like I said, it's just not. It's not a great answer anywhere. I don't think anybody's right or wrong. But I also think, as you probably know, Stuart, we live in a country now where if you have an opinion and you don't agree with somebody else, then you're canceled. I mean,
you will be.
You can't have your own opinion anymore.
No,
you don't
can't.
agree with the masses, then you're something, whatever they label you as. So it's tricky all around the board. And like I said, there's no good answers. I just know everybody says they're about let's do what's best for the kids. And that's really what I'm about. Like, I believe we need to be doing what's best for the kids.
Isn't it what we've been about all along? I mean, we've been about this all along. We've been about the kids all along, you and I. Yeah. Since day one.
And so like I said, if the best thing to do is for us to play right now, hey, I'm all for it. Let's play. All right, I'm excited. That's awesome. I just want to know that we have a chance to finish. And if we get started and things don't go well, is there a plan B and a plan C? So, yet to be determined, but I think you'll know a lot in the next couple of weeks as we start playing games and schools open up. If you don't see drastic spikes with the virus, then I think we're going to try to run this thing out. And, and then obviously they made the right decision. So just fingers crossed right now. It's just scary when you see all of NCAA, with the exception of your big boys, have already said, hey, we're out.
Yeah. And, even the other sports that they play, I mean, of course you have to watch out for Title IX and some of that stuff. But, I don't see any problem in running cross country or golf or tennis or some of the other 31 sports that the NCAA speaks of. I mean, let them go ahead and play right now. I don't see a problem. Go ahead.
I don't disagree, but as you know, like everything in your business, follow the money.
Yep.
And obviously football is a major revenue generator for big schools.
Yep.
And then when you're talking about my alma mater, when you're looking at Tennessee Tech, when you're looking at the Eastern Kentuckys of the world,
OVC's not going to play. Not going to play.
Right, but again, for the revenue they make and the money they generate, okay, that's one thing. But a lot of times, every one of those schools is going to play their money game.
Yep.
Whether it be Air Force or whether it be Northern Illinois.
Yes.
But again, it's all levels, and you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yep.
And so whether EKU plays Kentucky or they play Western Kentucky or Cincinnati or whatever, that you're playing that game because you're going to get a six-figure. And when you lose that, then now it's hard for you to have the budget to even operate your program. So you just seen that trickle-down effect all across the board for college football, and so therefore we're limited to those major Power Fives.
Absolutely, and right here where I live, MTSU, that game, that big game that they have, or that where they play somebody, like an Alabama or something, that is a huge check to MTSU.
No doubt.
Huge check. Well,
no doubt.
So Coach, you was talking about your first game. Are you at home on your first game?
No, we play at Houston.
Okay.
We were lucky to get that game with them. They had I believe a city school maybe that had to cancel because I don't know if you're aware, but Shelby County is not playing at this time.
Okay.
And so your Whitehaven, White Stations, Centrals of the world, those guys aren't getting to play.
So Rodney's out right now.
Yeah, for quite a few weeks actually.
Okay.
They're not even going to revisit the idea of playing football till after Labor Day. So they're not getting to do anything except condition. But anyway, we're going to Houston. It's going to be very limited tickets. Hopefully they're going to stream the game live or whatever. But it's just going to look different. We're not going to have as many kids dressed out because of the sideline restrictions. We're not going to be able to use water bottles. We're not going to have ice towels. There's just going to be a lot of differences. But we'll adapt and improvise and hopefully overcome in the end.
So will you switch just straight to bottled water, or what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Okay.
We looked at, we're going to have Gatorade cups on the sideline so that they, take the Gatorade to the head when they come off this, to sit down or whatever. But as far as my major concern was during a timeout or whatever, trying to give a kid, hey, Pierce, here's your water. DJ, here's your water. That just was going to be too big of a mess. So we're going to use water bottles, and when they're done, they're going to throw them in the garbage.
Coach, you've already dealt with the goodie bag. You remember the goodie bag over at Oakland, and one kid got a goodie bag and another kid didn't get a goodie bag. I remember you telling me. Yeah. You get into the goodie bag. I remember that. Well, anything else? Anything else you want to speak of?
No, man, we're just, like I said, I think we're blessed to be in the situation we're in right now. I was cautiously pessimistic, to be honest, but now we're full steam ahead. And, my prayer is that we just continue to find a way to restrict the virus as much as possible and get the parents, players, and everybody on the same page about doing the things all the time that they can. Whether you believe in it or not, whatever political divide you have, wear a mask, be smart, and let's try to get these numbers down so these boys can continue to play.
Coach, stay safe. I'll try to talk to you. I'll call you Friday night, and we'll see how things went.
All right, brother. Good to speak with you.
Take care.
See you, man.
All right, bye.